some noise for your host, Kid Copious.
What up, perps? Kid Copious, back in the bunker, Purple State Party. You know how we do this. America, the center, common sense, and bang. Almost the 4th of July. Wow, wait till you see what I'm going to be posting, man. Give you a small hint, but you'll see some iconic characters getting blown up. You know, hypothetically. So anyhow, as you see in the name of this episode, this is episode 68. I'm super proud of myself, by the way. Is we're gonna need a bigger trash bag, and it's just, after seeing this video here, where this shoplifter just fills up a trash bag at Walgreens, he rides out, security's just filming it, and the comment sections, man, really reveal the truth of what people think sometimes. And this one was no exception. I mean, people pointed out, oh, Walgreens has insurance. What's the big deal? You know, there's things called deductibles. There's things called premiums. Walgreens, in particular, has been just shutting down their stores. They're losing too much money in San Francisco. These are not just billionaire companies. These are companies that serve a community, and the community is going to be without these services when this kind of shit continues. Another comment was, well, security can't get involved because the store doesn't want the liability of all of that. In my day, man, I hauled in a lot of shoplifters. I blended right in with just the average person out on the floor, and man, I'd watch them do all kinds of tricks when I worked at record stores and places like that. And, I busted him, man. I got commendations. I got a guy taken down by the FBI for pirating. I chased a guy who'd stolen the boxes from some adult videos. I chased him down a one-way street. I was in a car. He was on foot. I caught up. I recovered them boxes, man. I've grabbed people and slammed them to the ground. I did it once right in front of a district manager, once right in front of a loss prevention district manager. This kind of crap, man. It's the broken windows. You got to start with the pettiest of petty crimes. Stop that. Get involved in the community. Instead, the police are being asked to stand aside. They're not going to do anything. People were commenting, oh, well, he's on video. They'll be arrested. For what? The police aren't going to waste manpower on something that's not going to be prosecuted. This guy's going to receive a ticket. And let's even say he pays the ticket. He still made more money. If you steal $950 worth of stuff and they give you a $200 ticket, you still made $750. This is going to destroy communities faster than anything. It's a failure. It's another liberal policy failure. And it's time to end it. It's time to make crime a crime again. We're going to bust into some truths here, man, and one that's really got my cackles up. You can say what you want about Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. Yeah, he was like everybody else, man. He had some flaws. Maybe he had some ways of thinking that weren't quite correct. But then again, like I've always said, man, if your stand against something like homosexuality is based on the Bible, I could say you're wrong, but, it's basically my word versus God's. So I can't really fault you for that. I have to cut you some slack on that. It's not just homophobia. It's because it's against the Bible. I'm not here to defend him. I'm here to praise this man. I have his initials tattooed on my arm. He never burned a building, never robbed a store, never destroyed a town. He changed the world. He changed the way we looked at things. Judge a man by the content of his character. That's it, man. That's how every single person who I meet is judged. Color of their skin, man, that's worse than judging a book by its cover, because at least a book cover has some information. That's how I know that critical race theory is wrong, because they don't mention Martin Luther King. They don't use Martin Luther King as their figurehead, because critical race theory was originated as critical class theory. See, in places like China or Russia or even Cuba, you had different class structures, and people were pretty much locked into those class structures. Here in America, your class does not define you. A poor man could be a rich man the very next day. So class doesn't define us. Race defines us more than class. So to divide us into small, manageable chunks, they're going to use race. And like this dude says right here, man, Black Father rips critical race theory. How do I have 2 medical degrees? 2 medical degrees if I'm sitting here oppressed? I'm white. I would never oppress him. I would never in a million years allow something to stand in that dude's way. That's not America, man. I'm America first. Long before it became a slogan for Trump, I was America first. I'm an American. I'm a fierce American. I'm one of them Americans who got all weepy-eyed when he went back east and stood at Lexington Concord. I'm an American who still to this day can't even watch footage of September 11th. I love this country. It's got its faults, but at least it addresses them. And when you try to tell us that we are a systemically racist country, go fuck yourself, man. Go fuck yourself, because this dude is not alone. He's not the only successful black person in America. It's time that we start looking at things honestly and moving forward with the actual issues that affect us. You know, Candace Owens here. Another successful black person in America. How could that be? 2 in a row. Oh my God. Candace Owens. I love that we listened to 4 years of baseless accusations about Trump being a racist. And the Biden family is the racist. They've been openly racist. Remember, Biden's the guy who said that black entrepreneurs would do as well as white entrepreneurs, but they don't have lawyers and accountants. I'm sorry, but I'm going to refer you back to dude here. He has 2 medical degrees. 2. I'm pretty sure he could have been an accountant or a lawyer. Pretty sure Candace Owens could be an accountant or a lawyer. I'm pretty sure that a lot of black people could be accountants and lawyers. That's why I don't buy this shit. We're not standing in the way. One individual might stand in the way, a group, a school. But man, you're still not even getting close to America. America has millions of those things. We're not standing in anybody's way. To try to teach that is openly Marxist. It's openly trying to split the divides. That's all you're doing. You know? This was an interesting one that I found, that the Hillary Clinton is actually the ones who started the birther question about Barack. You know? Trump never called the election of Barack Obama stolen or illegitimate. You know? He made some headlines by bringing up the birther thing that Hillary had touched on. But Hillary made 4 years of claims that Trump's win was stolen. It was illegitimate. They rattle on about the popular vote. Folks, people, the truth of the popular vote is more people live in New York and California than lots of states combined. So yeah, people can win the popular vote. Our founding fathers were such geniuses that they set up a system that evens things out, the Electoral College. You could argue it. I never want to change it. I don't care, man. I've had to sit through Clinton twice. I had to sit through Obama. Man, now I'm having to sit through Biden. I don't want to change the Electoral College, but I'm never going to allow mail-in ballots. You know, here's another little truth that, you know, back in 92, yeah, that was, 30 years ago. Clinton and Gore used a Confederate flag on a sign. 30 years ago. That is a long time ago, but yet the people involved are all still alive. Unlike slavery, we want to pay reparations on behalf of people who are dead to people who are dead. See, that's history that deserves to remain in history. This is still relevant. This is still relevant. When it suited them, they used it. When it suited them to get rid of it, they got rid of it. Make these big political you know what? I don't really care one way or the other, okay? Because I don't like people who subscribe to that racist way of thinking. So, but I'm also not going to judge somebody by a flag that they display. Not at least that one, okay? Because I have a little more knowledge, you know? I have a little bit more knowledge. You know, that's more a symbol of the South than slavery. But if you want to believe it's the other way around, go right ahead. I don't really care. I mean, it was on the top of the car in the Dukes of Hazzard, so I don't understand how racist it could have been. But then again, I could understand people not liking that show because the car was orange. Oh. So I heard a weird thing at the beginning of the week. It was on a radio show, Armstrong and Getty. I want to say 570, but I suck with numbers. But anyhow, they were talking about how CNN was toting this poll, in which it said that a majority of people think that Biden is dealing with the Europeans better than Trump. And it was 44%. And there were two other categories. So there was a total of three numbers. Two other categories which were the same or worse. And when you added those up, it was 56. So in reality, 56% of Americans believe that Biden is doing the same or worse than Trump. Not 44% think he's doing better. Yeah, that was the largest singular number. But that wasn't the truth. They bend and twist these polls. That's why I don't really buy into them. You know, I found this one while I was researching that one. You know, in June of 2021, 37% of America think that America is on the right track. You know, he has an approval rating of like in the high 40s or 50s, somewhere like that right now. Biden does. And they're all cheering about, oh, he handled G7. We'll get to that in a second. But when you're asked about the track we're on, only 37% of Americans. And of that 37%, how many of them are just completely brainwashed? They're going to answer that no matter how they feel. They're going to say, yes, everything's positive. You know, that's why polls are meaningless. It's who you ask. It's how you frame it. They're stupid. But, you know, if you can't even get a poll to say more than 37% think that we're on the right track, I find that to be a bit distressing. I don't know where that came from. It's been a long day. Found this one interesting. Another little truth. You know, the father of Michael Brown joins an anti-BLM movement. I'm not sure what that really means. I don't know if anybody's really I mean, the organization, yeah. The sentiment, yes, we all support that. But I guess the organization, I guess you can be anti that organization. But they took in $90 million. And one of them's gone to jail. One of them bought a bunch of houses and then quit. So you've been lied to, and people need to look at that as an example on how they preyed on the nation's pain. And what did they do? What did they do? They just paid for more demonstrations to make more money. It's like a company that collects money to make commercials for itself. That's kind of what it is. And it's sad because they're not doing anything. There's no community outreach. There's no talks of improvements or doing anything or scholarships. So $90 million was given to people for self-promotion. $90 million is a lot of scholarships. It's a lot of legs up, man. You could have taken that $90 million and done a lot of good. And that's the problem with these radical media-driven groups. You know, BLM has got to be the biggest of them. Just a complete sham. They just collect money to make more money. That's it. What do they do with it? Nothing. I'm repeating myself. I get so frustrated because it's so blatantly obvious. And to see black folk using black folk, you know, that's not helpful. It doesn't help that community one damn bit. All that money, and it's not going to change the lives of one person other than the people who collected the money. So we were talking about the G7 again. You know, Europe's happy that we're back. You know, no, Europe's happy that they no longer have to deal with somebody who stands up to them. You know, we're trying to put pressure on places like Iran, China, Russia, North Korea. And these European allies go around all of these embargoes. They go around all of these sanctions. They do what they want. That's what they do. They do what they want. They don't pay us into NATO like they're supposed to. So yeah, I'm sure they're glad Biden's there. Biden don't give a shit about our money. Biden doesn't give a shit about our reputation. You know? I mean, we got bitch slapped by the French. Are you fucking kidding me? Come on. Come on. Like he says, come on, man. And he has these flashcards. And it's all about blaming Trump. It's all bringing up how bad Trump was. Because he can't stand on his own two legs, man. You know, he's a do-nothing coward. He's a puppet. He's allowing his country to be destroyed from within. He's allowing it. And then he goes over there to Europe and basically just takes it in the shorts, as they say. And everybody, oh, it's so nice. Oh, he's so wonderful. Who the fuck cares, man? This is an ugly world. We need fighters. We don't need placaters. You know? Because he was part of this. He was part of this whole cover-up of the truth. Pay no attention to the engineered virus behind the red curtain. Are you kidding me? This needs to be a wake-up call. But we're not going to do shit about China. And if we try to put it like sanctions or embargoes or tariffs or any of that, the European countries will just go right around it, man. There's a reason why we used to be an isolationist country. Mainly because Europe don't really like us. They don't respect us. They need us because we're the biggest good guy on the planet. You can't even begin to argue that. There's nobody who's on the side of right that's bigger than the United States. The only people bigger than us are enemies. But how are we supposed to put any pressure other than the military on a place like Russia when Russia is selling natural gas to Europe? And Europe's not going to make any moves. They're not going to put any sanctions against China for the fucking bat flu that we ended up with. Nobody's going to do anything about this. And the problem is that history has shown, as just going back to the late 1930s, nobody put their boot down on Hitler, and look what the F happened. And the problem is, we've got better stuff now. We've got deadlier bombs. We got more accurate rifles. We're talking about much better armed countries on both sides of the conflict. We have nukes, man. If the shit gets real, we may just end it. We may never have to live through that meteorite strike. We're going to do it to ourselves. Because we're going to allow these people to keep going until we have to stop them, and it'll be too late, and it'll cost too many lives, and it could get really, really out of hand. Trump was trying to put a stop to that. You know, Creepy Joe comes in, creeps back in like a creeper, blows it all up. You know, here's some lies that the media played along with. The lab leak, the hydroxychloroquine, the massive voter fraud. Look at that. The first two have already been proven. We already know this came from the Wuhan virological lab. I mean, we already know this. You know, we're now finding that hydroxychloroquine, the Everestin or whatever it's called, you know, works. But no, because Trump was behind it, they wanted to boycott it. There's that word I was looking for earlier. I kept saying embargoes. So what does it say about the fraud? See, it poses the question. And that's all people like myself and others are asking. Like, it just poses the question. Can we at least discuss it like rational human beings? They've lied. What else are they lying about? So far, they've lied about everything. So I'm pretty sure they're lying about critical race theory. Newsom's going to want to do vaccine verification. I already took care of that before he put that in. I don't give a shit. This guy, I just hope to God he's gone soon. Trump announces he's building a 1,954-mile-long Trump hotel along the southern border. Oh, man. Babylon B. You guys are funny, man. Here's another one. Study finds link between happiness and not knowing who Christy Teigen is. Yeah, and she's another rabid liberal. And look what she really turns out to be. Nothing but a bully. Just a bitch-faced bully. I already knew. I never liked her at all. One look and no. Nah. But those are the members of your elite. When you are a leftist, when you are a liberal, when you are voting for Democrats nowadays, you're in bed with people like that. You can say whatever you want about Republicans. You can say whatever you want. But for the most part, they're pretty much straight up. You know what you're getting. They are not running around behind you looking to stab you in the back like this girl. And others like her who are all sweet talk and then vicious. Wow. Representative Lauren Brobert. Oh, man. Wow. Yeah, no, I'm just a little bit of a crush. She brings a cardboard cutout of Kamala Harris to the U.S.-Mexico border. Like, that's the way politicians are going to have to be in the future. They're going to have to be a lot more tuned into the culture. It's great to see youth in there. Is it raw? Sure. Oh, God. It's beautiful. But yeah, it's raw. It's edgy, but it's not stale and it's not embedded and it's not a career politician. She may be a career politician, but she's not at the moment. Trying to shake things up. I love it. So, that 95% of Americans who mainstream media call far right want only to work for a living, keep most of their money, raise their kids in peace, get them a good education without left-wing indoctrination, own a nice home, and be left alone. Extremist. That's all we're looking for. I'm not looking to shut anybody down. I don't care. Other people have their own lives, and I'm fine leaving them to live it. I just want to be basically left alone. The less government involvement I have in my life, the better. White supremacy, the number one threat to the homeland by Garland here. Bronco, of course, he's always going to be here. And, he's saying if you see something, say something. He's saying the BLM, radical Islam, and Antifa. And, that's their list. Trump supporters, black conservatives, gun owners. That's who they really consider dangerous because it's not about making America safe. It's about making America permanently Democrat. Permanently Democrat. They want ultimate control so that they can impose their form of utopia, which works for the people at the top, but sucks for the rest of us. Sucks. There's not very many good examples of it. One example that always gets brought up is Denmark. And Denmark, you pay like 46% income tax, 26% sales tax. But that you get a lot in return. You do. It has its faults, but you do get your insurances and things like that are folded in, socialized. Health insurance, I believe car insurance, stuff like that's included in your taxes. But I was wondering, how does that work? Because, I'll pay way more to have a beautiful country. And then I read that the U.S. government got scammed out of $400 billion in EDD or stimulus payments. $400 billion. So I'm wondering how much has Denmark gotten scammed out of? And all I could find was something from, I believe, 2018. And they were scammed out of something like $2.1 billion, but it was by one guy who was some sort of English banker. And I thought about it. That's the issue. See, in Denmark, people who don't work legitimately can't work. And therefore, they're taken care of. Senior citizens, for example, they can't work, so they're taken care of. Life's good. You don't have homeless people. You don't have destitute people. The people are taking care of the people. Problem here in America is we're like a shit soup, man. We got way too many people who are going to milk the system. People who are going to, a senator had an unemployment claim filed in her name, Dianne Feinstein. Prisoners were getting money. It won't work here. But his list is not the problem. Because the right is not trying to tear the country apart. The left is trying to split and divide. And that's why the Second Amendment is so important. People trying to say, it was only designed to keep blacks in line and blah, 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 and it doesn't apply, and they weren't talking. No, 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 no. This sums it up so brilliantly. Our founding fathers weren't concerned with specific types of firearms. They were concerned with specific types of governments. That's the truth. That's the truth, and that's what we're looking at. We're looking at a political party that wants total control. And if you are voting for that, you really, really need to look at the end results here. Because they're not pretty. Places where socialists have seized control either through violence or coercion, corruption, whatever means, it doesn't end well. It works in some countries because in those countries they're not rampant with corruption and people just scamming the system. Better people have better systems. Yes. That's the easy way to look at it. Better people have better systems. Less people makes it easier. There's lots of things. It won't work here. Their plan to make the government run everything is not going to end well here. Because we're already seeing it. Facebook banned Donald Trump. But they have not banned people who preach actual violence. They don't ban people who are actually purporting lies. They ban the people who are telling the truth. You realize that is a big, big red flag. Big red flag. I subscribe to a lot of what the left believes in. I subscribe to a lot of it. I really do. But the level they've taken it to, nah, man. No, not at all. So look closer. Because if you keep voting this way, we're going to end up like some shithole country where we have no rights and no way of fighting back. And sadly, never thought it would happen in my lifetime, but we inch closer to it. We inch closer to it. And the only way to stop it is at the ballot box. So think long and hard, especially here in California. Think long and hard about what you've been voting for and where it's gotten you. Because here in California, the Democrats do not have a good track record, nor do they across the country. They might have the right beliefs, but they have bad results. Copious out. Peace. Love you all.